This is homework helper for greater than, less than, or equal to inequalities. Here's how we have kids compare whole numbers so we can tell the order of whole numbers. Most kids, second, third grade, should have a pretty good grasp of that 9 is greater than 3 or that 2 is less than 5. So we start out at that very simple kind of a concept, but here's how we teach the kids to do it. You take a look at 9, you compare 9 to 3. Which of those is the largest number? Which is greater? The greater number is 9, so we put 2 dots by the 9. We put 1 dot by the number that is less than, because 2 is greater than 1, and then all we have to do is connect the dots. That gives us a greater than sign. We read that solution sentence, 9 is greater than 3. Same thing with 16 and 12, still a pretty easy concept for kids to get, but it's still good to practice the inequality symbols using the 2 dot method. We know that 16 is larger than 12, so we put 2 dots by the 16 because 2 dots is bigger than 1 dot, so 2 dots are bigger than 1 dot. Connect the dots and you have an inequality. 16 is greater than 12. A lot of kids get the greater than, less than sign mixed up. Here's how I teach it. Teach the kids to read the sign from the left to the right, just like we read a number sentence, just like we read a book. So as you reveal, whatever you see first is the inequality that you express. 9 is greater than 3. 16 is greater. And I play a game with the kids with the revealer, and I give them just enough information to make a decision. You can see the 2 dots, and immediately they say greater. But the tendency is to say that everything is greater that's on the left-hand side. So it's good to also have this. It's good to do it that way also so that you can read 12 is less than 16. The kids try to turn it around and go 16 is greater than 12, but of course that's backwards. Again, using the revealer tool. Reading from left to right, 12 is, you can see the less than sign peeking out there. 12 is less than, 16 is the correct way to express that inequality. But what if we go to a larger number? When we get larger numbers, we can't always just look at the number and tell whether or not we think it's greater than or less than. The strategy is stack and track. So we stack the numbers, 2,349 on top of 2,351. We draw a railroad track so that we can keep our place values. And then it's a contest, always from the left, because we read numbers from the left to the right. What is greater, 2 or 2? They're tied, so we have to go to the next place value. What is greater, 3 or 3? Again, we're tied, so we have to move to the next place value, the tens place. 4 or 5? 5 is greater than 4. We know that from a simple single-digit number. So we'll number that number 1. That is greater. And this is number 2. If there were 3 or 4 or 5 numbers, you stack them and you number those from greatest to least. So I know now that 2,351 is greater. I place my 2 dots beside that. Now I've got an inequality that makes the solution sentence true. You can do this with 2 numbers, 4 numbers, 8 numbers, whatever. Stack and track is the strategy for solving inequalities and ordering whole numbers. This is a homework helper. Practice ordering your whole numbers and you'll be really good at the inequalities.